Hi, and welcome to the first episode of Calyx Cafe. Today, joining me is Malcolm Morrissey, Associate Director of Statistics and Product Support Services, and we're talking about drug wastage reduction. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Calyx Cafe. Joining me today is Malcolm Morrissey, Associate Director of Statistics and Product Support Services. Hello Malcolm and welcome to Calyx Cafe. How are you today?
Good, thanks Sylvain, nice to see you.
And you, it's been a while since I've seen you on your moped on your way to work.
Yeah, I've not knocked you over yet. Yeah, it doesn't sound very sophisticated, but there's a lot of traffic in Nottingham and it gets you to work a lot quicker than the car.
Yeah, that's smart. So I've got my drink. Are you drinking anything today?
Yeah, got my Yorkshire tea on the go, nice and strong, keeping me awake.
Okay. Well, interesting. So do you want to tell us a bit more about yourself, Malcolm?
Oh yeah, sure, yeah. In preparation for this, I was thinking how long have I been working for Calyx, but it's 16 years now. And so worked on literally hundreds of clinical trials in that time. And prior to that, it was 5 years of being a research associate in the NHS, which was focused on patient quality of life survey data for clinical trials, which really led me to join Calyx and continue that work. So that's my background in the industry.
Oh, wow. And do you focus on all products at Calyx or anything in particular?
It's the RTSM, so randomization and trial supply management is our area, and so and it's literally those two aspects that my team are focused on, the randomization and the medication management parts of the IRT build.
Okay, and by IRT you mean interactive response technology, is that right?
Exactly, yeah. Sorry, need to avoid those abbreviations that we're renowned for. But yes, exactly right.
We love those acronyms, don't we? And so does your team then build the IRT system for the clinical trials?
Well, that's a common question, common sort of misconception a little bit. We have a dedicated build team here at Calyx, and we are part of that in our SOPs, but we don't build it ourselves. We're there really for that consultancy on the design of the randomization and the medication management side, translating that protocol information with that discussion with the client into our specifications. So yeah, client facing, but not quite doing that hard build aspect, but it definitely involved in the design.
Okay. And so anything you've been working on lately that you'd like to share with us?
Oh yeah, obviously working on those clinical trials is that key part, but no, you've been keeping us busy as well, Sylvain, in those extra side projects, keeping it interesting with the Calyx Engage sessions recently, promoting the new Calyx name for our company, and we were talking at that session in that conference around drug wastage reduction, which I think is what sparked us off setting up our video today and our discussion today.
Yes, definitely, and I'm sure that's something our audience will want to hear more about. So we'll dive into that in a bit, actually. First of all, so when you talk about reducing drug wastage, so you're talking about clinical trials, what do you mean exactly, Malcolm?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, and I think it means something different to different people. Obviously, I'm focused on that IRT perspective, and so for me, it's around if the IRT is set up in a really good way and got all the good parameters set up, then if the IRT is requested stock from the depot for any particular reason, then that was a kit that was needed, really, in my view. So what I think in terms of drug wastage is kits that just weren't requested by the IRT for a particular process. So they may be left at the depot at the end of the study. But I think maybe a drug supply manager might have a slightly different view, and they might be more focused on purely on the overage beyond dispensing, say. But if a kit's been requested and shipped and used in allowing the IRT to have a free-flowing system, then I think it's been well used and has met its purpose.
That's a very interesting definition for drug wastage. So thank you for sharing that with us. And so in terms of IRT itself, how does it reduce drug wastage?
Well, we can go back into the history of IRT a little bit, maybe. Before studies were run in IRT, the typical way a trial might be run is that if there are resupply visits as well as a first enrolment visit, medication for all those visits would be assigned to the subject at their very first visit. And if a subject then drops out, they no longer want to take part in that trial, those remaining visits are just wasted. There's stock that can't be used by other people. Whereas IRT came in and then allowed a more flexible approach, and it's that flexibility that saves the drug, that we only have to assign the portion of the drug that the subject needs for that particular visit to get them to the next visit. So the system is just very clever, knows what treatment arm a subject's on, assigns the right medication at the right time to the right patient, and if they don't come back, they don't need anything else. So that stock has not been assigned and can be used by somebody else. But that's maybe slightly simplistic. There are obviously a lot of other tools and things in the kit bag that when you set up an IRT, you can pull out and put in place to try and help further reductions of wastage, which we were talking about in that Calyx Engage a little bit. Some of them are technical solutions that we won't go into today, but just having a computer system track those visits and have that ability to predict something that's going to happen in the future is always great. Predictability is great at reducing wastage.
Wow, it's impressive the level of expertise that comes out from talking to you, Malcolm, just in a few minutes. I find that really fascinating. So I don't want to keep you too long. I really appreciate the time you're spending with us. But before you go, I'd be really interested to have your thoughts about what the future of clinical trials will bring us, or if there's anything that excites you about clinical trials in the future.
Oh yeah, well they're changing all the time. We've gone through different trends in the time I've been at Calyx, and I mean, going back to the very start, it was interactive voice response technology, not so the people were using the phones, and it was that transition to the internet that was a big change. But no, there's changes to the actual styles. The adaptive trials came in during that period of time. We've been seeing sham algorithms used to mimic patient results from laboratory tests. But so there's always something different and a trend that's coming in and changing during every year that we're working. It feels like I've had 4 or 5 jobs during the time I've been here because of the way it changes. So just being along for the ride and seeing what is going to happen next will be very exciting.
Well, yeah, I'm excited too. And you mentioned sham algorithms. You might have to come back another time to explain what this is. Right, well, Malcolm, it's been lovely to talk to you. Thank you very much for spending the time. And to everyone, I hope you found it as interesting as I did. And we'll have other sessions at the Calyx Cafe, so stay tuned. Malcolm, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, cheers.